So I wanted to do a real quick video about a pen that I purchased off eBay, and I just got it this week. Anyways, I found it listed, and the price was really good. No one had been really bidding on it. It's a Montblanc 221 fountain pen, and I got it for $68.40, and that included the shipping as well. I think it's in really good shape. There's a little bit of scuffing on it. I might try to kind of polish that up a bit, but really overall it's in really good shape. When it showed up, the problem was it was filled with black ink and it had been dried out, so it was completely dry and all gummed up. So I pulled it apart and flushed it all out and filled it up with some Waterman's green, and it wrote beautifully. The next day though, when I opened up the cap, it was leaking ink everywhere, and as you can see here, I've already wiped it down once, but it seems to be leaking from here basically. So what I'm going to do is pull it apart again, wash it out, and then go ahead and put some silicone grease around it. Real quick, I was going to go ahead and save the ink. You have to excuse me, I have a really bad allergies, so it's driving me completely nuts. Let's go ahead and just kind of dump this out. Also, I didn't put any silicone around the piston, so I figured it was a good time to do that. Okay, so we went ahead and dumped the ink back in. Typically, I would just toss the ink out, but I literally just filled this thing up the other day. Okay, let's go ahead and just wipe it down a little bit more. And then we're going to go ahead and unscrew. Matter of fact, what I'm going to do is put this under here for a bit. We're going to unscrew this section here. And then we'll unscrew this too. I don't really mind getting ink all over me, but all right. Okay, so we got most of the ink out of there. Get a little bowl. I'm just gonna wash it out some. I'm going to just kind of I'm gonna go ahead and put this in there. So most likely it has ink in it too. It's probably another reason why it was leaking, because it was beyond the piston. Okay. And this doesn't really need to be cleaned again, but we'll go ahead and just kind of clean it out a little bit. I'm going to grab something real quick to help with the process. These actually are some like pipettes or something that came with some platinum that I had. And it really does help with cleaning out ink really quick. Kind of just flush it right through. I find it fits a lot of different pins, so it's not just, you don't have to just use it on a platinum pin. Give it a few more squares. I'm thinking I'm going to change the ink anyways, so it would be a good idea to get as much of it out of there as possible. Okay. Alright. So this is probably better than it would be if I was to just clean the piston out with just regular water. Kind of just dry up everything a little bit. So the piston itself is right there. There is an additional little piece that sits in here. I'm not going to take it out, but if you completely unscrew the piston and then let it drop, sometimes that other piece will fall out, and you need to make sure that you put it in the right direction because it won't go back together otherwise. So let's go ahead and get some silicone for this. Oh, whoops, shit. Stuff went everywhere. Just wipe it down here. Alright. So I'm going to put a little bit of silicone on the piston itself. Probably more than I need. Hopefully you can see that. Okay. We'll put a little bit around here. Honestly, it's probably more than I need, but I'm gonna go ahead and just gonna put more on there, and then we can swipe it off a little bit. Okay. I'm gonna put it back together. Probably be a good idea. Let me get a little Q-tip so I can dry that out a little bit more inside. Okay, again, just kind of put it back together, and hopefully this will help. And I think just hand tightening is more than enough. I'm pretty sure I'm putting too much on there, but we'll just go with it. Okay, so let's see here. Kind of just wipe it down. And kind of just so here it's got quite a bit of water left in it. So it's quite a bit of green in it, actually. It's kind of just push out this way. Just like that, like. Alright, I think that's good enough. Typically, I'd kind of like lay this in a cup with the tissue paper nib down, just so it'll kind of like dry out some. But I think we'll just move forward with inking this up. Still quite a bit of blue in there too. All right, so I think every time I put Waterman in something, this Waterman green ink, I always think like, oh, it's such a pretty green, but then whenever I do it, I feel like I'm never very happy with it. So I have a lot of different inks, but I think what I'll do is I'm just gonna put like some diamine blue black in it. Alright, just gonna let it sit there for a second. Take it out. Alright. Okay. So now that's done, let's go ahead and give it a little writing test. This is usually where I screw up the review, but I guess we'll give it a go. I'll have to just push forward with it, no matter what happens. All right, so again, this is a Montblanc. 221 14K nib. So as you can see, it does write very fine. It has no expression at all. It's pretty much just a straight line. There's no, you're not going to get any flex out of this nib, which is fine. I do like, when I first started like getting into pens or into fountain pens, I was all about getting, you know, a medium nib or even a broad nib. And, but now I've seemed to really enjoy writing with the fine. And one of the reasons why is because I can use them more. Like at work, you know, you can use them on cheaper paper. But also I think my writing style, it is pretty much, small the way I write. I really don't, this should be an A. I don't really write very large, so I think it works out really well. Oops. Good. Lazy dog. See what I mean? All right, well, I will say it's not as smooth as I would hope for. I'll check it with the loop. I don't know if we can really do it from here. I could try. You think it'll work? I don't know if it will or not. You may not be able to see it. I feel like when I first got the pen and I wrote with it, it was a little bit more smoother maybe. But the tines and everything are very much in line, so I don't think it's probably just because it's very, very fine. So as far as it being wet, I mean, it does have, I mean, I would say it's medium. So anyhow, that is basically the pen and how to like dismantle it, and hopefully I did the silicone right, but if not, I can take it apart and clean it out again. So it's a nice writer. So I will say the nib is springy. Like you can feel it kind of jump on the page. try maybe smoothing it out a little bit. I think that I have, oh yeah, that's right here. This is like a little emery board, and sometimes what I'll do is I'll just kind of like take my pen and, oops. It's so fine, it's getting kind of caught on it. See if this will make any change on it. This side's actually the buffing side, the polished side. Like we could try like the buff side. That might be a little bit too much. Smooth. Personally, I can never remember which one should you use. Smooth or buff? I think it's buff. So, yeah, I think it actually did help. It's not catching the page like it was before. It must have just had a little barb on there that I just kind of like got rid of. It does feel much more smoother. So anyways, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them below. You know, I was thinking too, this could be a really good pen for drawing because you can get a really nice fine line out of it, especially if you're doing a lot of pen and ink. So I just think it's just a really nice pen. I really do like it. It's very classy, and the size isn't too bad. So anyhow, if you have anything or want to like leave a comment, feel free to do so. Thank you for watching.